Just before the pandemic, I was invited to give a career talk for 100 plus students at the University of Greenwich in London. 10 years ago, I was in that position, so I shared with them 3 moments that shaped my career. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Alejandro. I'm an engineer based in the UK, and on this channel we explore the engine that help us live a more purposeful life. So the University of Greenwich students were coming from various programs, but particularly business, marketing, banking and finance, entrepreneurship and innovation. The idea was to help them prepare for their future careers with an inspirational speech. Obviously, I'm not that kind of guy, so I thought it was more valuable to be myself and share 3 things I learned in the past decade that could potentially resonate with them. Number 1, you're more powerful than you think. I studied industrial engineering for 6 years at the Technological University in Argentina. Yes, it's 6 years over there, or at least it was back in the days. The reason I studied this was because I wanted to have some knowledge of different engineering areas such as chemical, mechanical, electrical, civil and so on. So industrial was a good compromise to be a generalist. It also attracted me the fact that I could be able to optimize complex processes, systems or firms by developing, improving and implementing integrated systems of people, money, knowledge, different resources, right? Like information, equipment, energy and materials. Everything, pretty much. Right, okay. So the truth is that I was good at math and I thought engineering was the next best step for me till I could figure out what I actually wanted to do in life. Back in the days, I heard my university in Argentina had a partnership with another one in France and 2 spots available. So I decided to apply for a scholarship to finish my studies in France. I was so excited. I didn't speak a single word of French, but still, it was so cool if I won. I'm not gonna lie, I was a very good student and I built confidence over the years. Sometimes I went too far and I confused self-confidence with ego. So I applied 3 times and didn't get it. My ego was so high that I couldn't understand why I was not selected. The bigger the ego, the harder the fall, right? That's it. My fall took place not once, not twice, 3 times. This was a wake-up call for me. But here's the thing. I never stopped learning from each process and never stopped trying one more time. I was frustrated, but at the same time obsessed. I had no time to let the frustration stay in my mind for too long, right? I was unconsciously learning how to change my state, to go from pissed off, frustrated, to back to my center. After 2 years of constant rejections, I decided to apply one more time. It was truly the last time, as it was my last year of university. There was a lot at stake. I remember I had one last chance to experience a different life. I wanted this as bad as I wanted to breathe. So I prepared myself in those 2 years to improve my grades, learn French and gain some work experience in my domain. This is funny, I even prepared myself emotionally because I wanted to be ready if there was one more rejection. I was waiting for the result. The university director came outside and it was my time to hear the news. He said, "Alejandro, please come here." I was trembling. My heart rate was boom, 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 was exploding. Then he said, "Congratulations, we trust you to represent us in France." I was speechless. So I left his office and I didn't even know what to think or what to say. I went to the toilet, shouted and cried. But this time it was different. It was happiness. Number 2, fake it till you make it. I was in France finishing my engineering studies, initially 6 months. I had my return ticket, but it was too little for me. I needed more time to understand the culture, how they work, how they live, what they like, what they don't like, the language, traditions, everything. After 2 months studying in France, I started to apply for an internship. I could hardly understand my classmates in real life, so imagine what the business life could look like. So I sent 100 CVs to pretty much every possible firm. More rejection on my way. Only one gave me the chance of an interview, over the phone and in French. Either I had massive confidence, either I was totally nuts. And I think, to be fair, it was somehow in the middle. So I prepared the interview for a few days, writing down every possible question and answer they could ask, and I could answer. The moment of truth came. They were asking me questions that I could only catch few words. Enough for me to link that to my long list of questions and read the answer I prepared if I didn't remember it. That's exactly what I did. They asked me like 10 questions. I could catch very little, but my way of fighting this battle was by catching few key words. The interview ended and I didn't hear anything for a month. And they sent me a letter. Oh yes, French people love letters. The letter said that I was through to the next round. So now my potential future boss was going to interview me. It was really hard to understand her accent. I'm sure she struggled with mine too. So again, I did the same exercise. I prepared all potential questions from a line manager in that industry, as well as my answers. I caught few keywords and started to read my answers in those moments I didn't remember. Could she tell I was reading? I don't know. I didn't hear again for a couple of weeks. I was entering my last month in France. Time to go back to Argentina. Game over. Wait, not yet. I got a letter saying that they offered me an internship till the end of the year in a village in southern France. I was again surviving to fight another day. I was happy and terrified because in person I couldn't fake it. But I still had another month to improve. My first month doing the internship was tough. From north to south, from student to intern, from faking being fluent to struggling. Walking 4 kilometers to go to work in a village of 500 people. After a month, something clicked. I was already speaking fluently without even realizing it. I just can't explain how it happened. But my transformation was taking place. My 6-month internship was coming to an end. I had a flight ticket to go back to Argentina. The honeymoon abroad was over. Unless I could find a job. Perhaps a permanent one. So a couple of months before my internship, I sent another 100 CVs to companies everywhere in France. 98 rejected me. One was in Limoges in central France and the other one in Paris. I asked for permission to leave early and took the train to have the interviews in person. The first one in central France didn't go well, so I was dismissed. Okay, fine. The second one in Paris was promising. I passed all the rounds and got the offer. Just 3 weeks before my flight ticket home. Imagine that. So I signed, and 10 years ago I started my first full-time job. And this time, no more return tickets. Number 3, learning is perpetual. While living and working in France, I signed up for my MBA as I wanted to complement my engineering background with a stronger financial and business knowledge. This was great because I had the chance to do it part-time, like remotely for many weeks and then a few mandatory days in person. So I used my personal holidays for those days. I needed to find ways to stay relevant and to outperform constantly because I couldn't make big mistakes. The truth is that I was facing a very, very strong competition from local people, and I was not French, but I learned. I didn't have any financial knowledge, but I learned. I was not making any money, but I learned how to. So part of my role in that job was to stay in Paris for 6 months and another 6 months relocate to London. I loved Paris, and I still nowadays try to go there every year for holiday. But when I relocated to London, something clicked. My gut feeling was telling me that it was the place where I needed to be at that point in time to maximize my opportunities. I came back to Paris as my assignment was ending. However, I started conversations to relocate permanently to London. Here's the thing, they didn't want me to go, so it took me a year, yes, a year of multiple conversations to get an agreement to relocate, but with the same salary. My income was already so low in Paris that I could hardly imagine my life in London with the same salary. Okay, I accepted the agreement just because I saw an opportunity. Even if I had to be another 2 or 3 years at the same income, I knew I would eventually grow. 10 years later, I'm making almost 10 times more compared to my first full-time job in a country where the inflation rate has been less than 2%. So here's the question. Money is important? Yes, absolutely. But never, ever, ever as important as making memories. Money gives us 10 seconds of satisfaction, but experiences last a lifetime. One of the biggest challenges after university is to face these complex and unknown situations. I know we will want to land that one first job that will change our lives. We want to make a lot of money. We want to buy property and have a dream life, right? Those things that they always tell us. But things don't always go according to the plan. So we need to be willing to learn beyond the formal education, beyond university. Things like how to build a network, how to think outside the box, how to learn from mistakes, how to stay calm, how to use your unfair advantage, and how money works, for example, right? They don't teach us that. When we're newly grads, we tend to get trapped because we might think that money will buy happiness. Here's the thing, happiness is not a destination. Happiness is a journey. So please learn and enjoy the process. If you like this video, you might also want to check this video over here called Why I Travel the World, which is about 8 reasons why I have the travel bug. Or this one over here, How to Stay Focused, which gives more context about those 10 years which I discussed. Thanks for watching and see you next time.